I'm revealing how much I spent on that Taylor Swift ticket, and I'm giving a full review of the Taylor Swift concert. Was it worth 1,000? Did my mic just cut out? Okay, hold on. It's Taylor. Because she's also a witch, which I will get into, which I didn't realize until I went to her concert. People have hit me up in so many DMs saying, because I went to Taylor Swift at the very last minute. I bought a ticket on Tuesday morning for a Wednesday night show here in Los Angeles to close out her SoFi Stadium 6-night tour. I think it was her longest stay in one city. And I paid $1,503.04. I know. It's a mortgage payment. I know. Many of you just pulled over your vehicle and threw up. I threw up too when I saw that, withdrawal from the bank account. I did too. But I was in mourning and I just had a gut feeling that I needed to go see her. And I am so glad that I did. So I'm giving a full review of my Taylor Swift, as not a fan of Taylor Swift, what I thought of the Taylor Swift concert that apparently is going to, by the time it's all said and done, because now it heads out of the United States for a while and doesn't come back to the US, I don't think until 2024. It's supposed to be the tour itself, right? So everything, the ticket sales, the merch is going to bring in $1 billion for the Taylor Swift empire. And I can see why. I'm a fan now. Semi-fan. Will I ever go again? No, I don't think I will. I wanted to go because a lot of you that follow this podcast know I had my second miscarriage a couple of weeks ago and a DNC. And it was such a gut punch. We were supposed to be 14 weeks along, although the fetus stopped growing around 11 weeks and something. And I probably had miscarried around 13 weeks, I guess. So it's long. It's 13, 14 weeks. So I was really down. Schman and I, my husband, and I'm sure KJ, even though he's only a little over 2, senses something is wrong in the house. We've just been so down, And I was like, gosh, I just have this gut feeling inside me that I need to go see Taylor Swift. And one of the reasons is, this is such a cultural moment. I wanted to spend this insane amount of money to make myself feel better. And 2, I felt like it was a moment in time that we are never going to get back. I don't care what people say. Oh, Stevie Nicks is still touring. The Rolling Stones. I don't give a shit. They're not in their prime. They're not, I've seen Stevie, who I adore. I love her. A couple of years ago in Washington, D.C. at the Verizon Center or whatever it's called now, downtown. And she immediately came out and she said, I'm singing songs from my album called The Witch's Brew. I mean, something you'd never heard of, honey, which was signaling to say she wasn't going to sing any of the hits from Fleetwood. I stayed about 45 minutes to listen to a bunch of twang I didn't know, and I left. I wasn't interested. Now, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, I figured this is going to be the best of the best. This is going to be all the hits, and I'm sure she's going to go on to have many other hits, but every hit you've ever heard of Taylor Swift, she's going to play that night. Every celebrity on the planet, every girl under the age of 35 is trying to get a ticket and paying an astronomical amount of money and wants to be in this room. And just everybody who leaves goes, wow, it was a really out of body experience. And I think the last person that really did this, I know Beyonce's on tour and she's doing it, but it's that Michael Jackson effect. Michael in the late 80s and 90s, you just couldn't beat it. It was just something that he could stand up there from God and give to the audience. And she has it. She just has it. So I paid $1,500 for this last minute seat on SeatGeek. I was in section 100. I think row 16 or something, or row 10, seat 6. Got to SoFi. SoFi is beautiful. It's brand new. There's water fountains and lovely gravel and sand and lots of VIP space. And, when you're going to section 100, they walk you down like you're going to go to the VIP room. But instead of turning right where Channing Tatum was, I wanted Channing all over your Tatum. I had to go left and no one was Channing on my Tatum. So, but 100 ain't anything to like balk at. It was beautiful. It was great. Sat, with a lot of girls, a lot of guys. One guy that was dressed up as a snake because of her, snake songs. I didn't know half the songs or whatever. Okay. But it was So good. Haim opened, didn't realize they were all best friends with Taylor, but they are. They were great live. Such a good, I wanted to be around people. And the minute I walked in and sat down and saw people cheering and the energy was so pure. It brought me back. It gave me goosebumps. I started to tear up a little bit, but I was like, I can't be this solo woman crying by myself. People are going to think that something's wrong. And, they're going to be like, oh my God, does this woman have a bomb strapped to her? Like, why the fuck is she like melting down? So I had to keep it together. I held it together. And I just thought, I'm going to take in all the music. 3.5 hours, Taylor goes. 3.5 hours. And this bitch, she transforms. At 1 minute, she's a witch. And then she's a seductress. And then she's up in a little treehouse with a bunch of moths. I mean, it was so good. Most of the time, I'm not a huge fan of concerts. I was in radio for 9 years. As you guys know, I've seen everybody. Britney Spears circus tour, Maroon 5, oh my God, Gwen Stefani. I mean, you name it. We've had tickets to it. Thank God. It was so fun. When New Kids on the Block came back after years, that was pretty amazing. And Spice Girls, I got to see. That was a childhood dream. They were really good too. But I don't think I thought that Spice Girls were singing live most of the time. Taylor appeared to be singing live, and it was good. The acoustics were good. The stage is crazy. Now, she can't dance, so they very cleverly do a lot with the stage. They bring out sets. The stage is up and down to kind of hide the fact, and she has a beautiful group of backup dancers that do a terrific job to kind of hide the fact that she can't dance, which was, she doesn't need to. Like all her hits were played, and I just loved it. And you know what I think is magical about her, even as not being an Uber fan, she really is one of those artists that transcends like age, gender. Like there were guys there were girls there were all ages. And, there is something to it. I mean, I'm one of the raunchiest people ever. When I started this podcast, it was so rated X. So it's not like I should be like championing somebody who's PG, but there's something wholesome about not every other word is not fuck. I think she drops fuck twice, maybe the entire show of 3.5 hours. And it's positive. It's just positive. It's not raunchy. It's not, sure. Her outfits are very like appropriate. She's not like down there showing her vagina lips. Now, again, if they were me, I would be like, my act would be more Cardi B, where Cardi B, I mean, doesn't she give like the mic a blowjob or something? I think the last concert where she threw a mic on someone, she was telling people spray her to get wet. I mean, like I'd be more that, okay? But I appreciate an artist who for 3.5 hours can keep your attention without having to go to extreme sex acts or lyrics I mean, it was pretty amazing. Now I am worried about a couple things. Taylor does two signature things throughout the show a lot. The eye thing. She's always got her eyes to the side. So she stands there in the middle of the stage and then she turns her eyes up, like cat eyes, and looks up, and she gives that stare. And then she's always throwing out one hip. I'm like, bitch, you're going to need an eye replacement and a hip replacement with those moves. Okay. How about a little bit just more direct eye contact? We would have liked to just see you look into the audience, but she's always like, she'll pose with one hip out and then she looks up the eyes. But she's magical. She is a witch too. And I feel like that is the secret too. Like Stevie Nicks, witch. Taylor Swift, witch. Beyonce, probably witch, And she comes out and does this one thing with these, like all her backup dancers have cloaks on. And it's like, they're like Salem witch and they have like these lit up magical balls and she's singing one of her songs. And I thought, this bitch, they know where it's at. I'm telling you, a little bit of witch magic always works. And then she's, then she transforms and she's wearing her fairy gown. I mean, it just was so good. And to keep the audience so engaged for 3.5 hours and the stamina to do that night after night, to receive the love and give it back. And then she comes out at one point, and she did this with Kobe Bryant's youngest daughter. Every show, she's wearing one of her outfits and she has a hat on, and they bring a little girl up to near the stage, and she goes down and puts the hat on the girl and just tells her how much she loves her and wishes her luck. And it's so beautiful and empowering. And I think why it works is even though I'm sure Taylor Swift is probably a lot about Taylor, it never appears that way. everything was, I think, curated for the audience. Like, so the audience has the best experience, so there's really not a down moment. You're entertained, you're looking at the stage, she's speaking to you, she's singing to you, Haim is entertaining you. It's just, I don't know, some artists, it's like they come out and they're like, I don't want to sing any more of my hits. All right, good night. None of it. It was worth every penny. Every penny. And she's one of those people, you forget how many hits she has. It's like Mariah Carey. It is like Beyonce. It's like Maroon 5. You forget how many hits they really have until you're sitting there. And I read an article in the Daily Mail. I thought this was really good because I used to feel this exact same way about Taylor Swift. Kara Kennedy wrote, okay, I'm ready for the Swiftie slap back. Taylor is cringe, unoriginal, massively overhyped. When will the millions in this cult-like collective trance shake it off? And she essentially says that since the Eras tour has started, more people are buying tickets because of fear of FOMO, which look, that's part of it. I felt like she's only going to be this good in this moment of time for so long. I'm sorry. I feel like all artists have a peak. I think this is it. I do. I probably won't go again. I'm not saying she's not going to create amazing magic and she's not going to go down in history as one of the greatest, highest grossing artists of all time. I think all those things are true. But when there's an energy around a tour, like there was about Michael Jackson when he performed at the Super Bowl, you're only going to be a part of that moment for one time. And Eras was it. And it was it. It was worth it. So Kara Kennedy goes on in her article to basically say, the tour is predicted to fetch a record-busting $1.4 billion. So I stand corrected. And essentially, she says that Taylor is a crafted image. Okay, so her lyrics, to a point, are relatable, but she is not. She is an image that you want to see of this goody-goody woman who has cats and writes about her ex-boyfriends and, loves her girlfriends and, is helping out and feeding, giving her millions of dollars to feed people when she's not on stage. And, enough with the bullshit and let's see like the real her. I kind of don't want to see the real her. Sorry, Kara. I get what you're saying. I used to be a hater as well. But now I'm a lover and I don't want to see the real Taylor. I think it's amazing because we see so many stars, right? When Miley Cyrus was Hannah Montana and then she was like, to hell with that. I'm going to get raunchy with Robin Thicke at the MTV Music Awards and bend down in his crotch and lick a bunch of popsicles and suck a bunch of D on stage. We knew the ship of innocence had sailed. Genius. She's a genius. Much like the Kardashians are a genius in their own right. She is much like Tom Brady's image is very crafted. She's a genius because it is hard to stick with an image that is set out for you, right? So whether it's true to Taylor, and it seems like it kind of is, it seems like she is sort of this witch-like human that's then like a cat lover. I mean, she just is this like good witch, I think that's truly who she is. I could see her with a cauldron, like at her house in Rhode Island. I mean, I give her props because it's very hard to keep up that persona. We see in poor Britney Spears, right? Girl went through the ringer. Couldn't, not that I'm saying that that's the way Britney's career was set up. Like, you're going to be good. And then you can't take it. Most people can't. I couldn't. I'm not. But it is kind of noteworthy when someone can, when they set out this wholesome image and they don't like veer from that. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Sorry, Kara Kennedy. You're wrong, girl. But I look, if you're still trying to get a ticket because she's coming back here to the United States, I think she's going down to New Orleans and some other places, I would do it. I have no regrets. I'm so glad I went. I loved the energy. And you know what I loved too, that was inspiring and I think can be inspiring to everyone and even to myself, although I feel every year I'm more true to this. But when I watched her go out on stage, she had so much confidence. And I looked at her. Do you ever look at people in life and you go, oh, they're doing exactly what they're meant to be doing? Like, when she took that stage, I was like, wow, you had a calling to be a star, to be a singer, to bring joy through your songs of breaking up with a man. And boy, is it working. And I loved how confident she was. She's confident in her quirkiness The whole thing, I'm telling you, I love it. Sometimes you go to these shows, you feel like people, they're putting on they're just doing the motions. There was just something genuine about her, and she stands in her quirkiness, and I thought, you know what? I would take my kids to that show because I think you walk away with live your dream. Now, are most people's dream going to be maybe as extreme as that? No. But still, whatever your dream is, if your dream is to like breed caterpillars, well, get to it. Because if you love it, I thought it really came out. I thought she really had a ball. She also announced at the final show here in Los Angeles at SoFi, she's re-releasing her 1989 album, the year she was born. So that's a big deal. Her fans were going nuts. Again, am I going to buy it? No. The merch lines were insane. And I thought to myself, fabulous. I'm going to get a margarita. And I did. It was a wonderful little fabulous high-end bar. And they had a champagne bar. I got myself delicious margarita with salt on the rim. And I sipped on that while I waited in line for tacos that were, stadium food isn't that great, but I don't care what stadium you go to, they all buy from the same place. So it's like Cisco's finest, which, no offense. I love me sometimes a Cisco pretzel, but it wasn't like I was living for the tacos there, but I was living for the margarita. They made a good margarita at SoFi. And everybody was so sweet. The trading bracelets thing, people were trading bracelets. Nobody traded bracelets with me. I was fine with that. I didn't attempt to trade bracelets with anybody else. The guy sitting next to me was hysterical. He was with his girlfriend and he was watching the Dodgers game the entire time that Heim was out. And then when Taylor came out, he dropped it, screeched like a girl, and was all over his girlfriend. What a turn of events. What a turn of events. I didn't know what was going on there. I was like, what? This man, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The Swifties transcend, honey. They transcend all of it. Let's see. Let's play some music. Oh my God, I love. Okay, this was her talking. Trouble when you walked in. Oh my God, it was great. Resign. Oh, it was really good. So anyway, it was totally worth it. You guys slid in my DMs. You're like, how much did you pay? How much did you pay? Did you really like it? Did you really like it? Yeah, I did. I needed to go because I needed that hope. I feel like she does bring hope. I feel like she's a reminder of never to give up. I loved everything she embodied. There's something magical when somebody can do that. When it's sad. I see so many of these performers and I'm thinking about, I love Doja Cat, but to see how much Doja has, and maybe it's on purpose and maybe Doja is living her best self and I'm becoming my parents. That's probably it. But Doja just to me, she's gone down this, she's so weird now. They have to go so weird to keep attention. Even I'm sorry, but I'm so over all these performers have tattoos now on their face. You just let your voice do the talking. Post Malone. I mean, the dude, it just looks like a, bathroom stall wall now. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sorry. He's lovely, but I mean, I want to see your beautiful face, not a fucking dollar bill sign on your eye when I'm trying to make out with you. It's just so weird. They all go so weird, I think. And I appreciate she's weird in a witch kind of way, but it's a different way and it works.